Yo, what up, YouTube? It's Rob. Let me haunt you real quick. The more you continue to prosper, the higher you continue to reach, the more goals you accomplish. There will be people that will try to get you out of your square. There will be people that will try to tempt you. There will be things that try to tempt you. Maybe old bad habits. Maybe people try to come back to your life to see if they still have access to you. A lot of things from your past will come up when you continue to grow, when you reach newer heights. Just because you're done with the past doesn't mean the past is done with you. Understand that sometimes you need to remove yourself from certain situations before you reach your breaking point. Understand that sometimes it's not about fighting. It's about leaving, removing yourself. It's about fleeing from the situation. A lot of things will come up. Maybe old addictions you had, maybe old people, maybe old things you used to deal with, old things you used to struggle with. They might come up. But remember that you're stronger now and you're more capable than you ever been before. All you need to do is remove from your situation. A lot of people think it's weak. A lot of people want to fight. They only think one way. They think, I gotta fight it, I gotta fight it, I gotta fight it. There's nothing weak. There's nothing, you're not scared. It's not about being fearful. There's nothing weak about saying, no, I know if I continue to, if I'm in this situation, if I'm in this room with that certain person, I'm gonna act a fool and I don't want to do that. I know if I continue to have this conversation with you, I'm gonna get out of character. And a lot of people, they live for that. They live to see how long does it take? How hard can I push till they act out of character? And then they can cower back. They can be like, whoa, why you acting like that? I was just playing, you being sensitive. And now you acting a fool and everybody looking at you like you the bad guy because you lost your cool, you blew your top, and now you look like a fool. Now you looking foolish. Remember, flee. You will be tempted. No matter how great you are, no matter how many new heights you reach, no matter how many goals you accomplish, you are not, you are not too far removed from being tempted. Actually, the greater you become, the more you'll be tempted. You're tempted less when you're regular. People who are okay with mediocrity, people who are okay with being less than, people that have a low sense of self-worth, they will be tempted even less because they're not striving for nothing, because you're putting your strengths to the test. How do you know if you can resist temptation if you don't put your strengths to the test? How do you know that you can resist temptation if you aren't faced with that same temptation? Remove yourself before you reach your breaking point. If you had a past addiction and you can't be in the bar, you're not weak for that. You protecting yourself. If you drink, you might do something bad. If you used to have a overindulgence with food, and you can't have a bunch of snacks and junk food in the crib, you're gonna eat it all. You can't pace yourself yet. You're not there yet. Maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're new to the journey. Maybe you're just starting off your journey of fitness and getting healthy. And you can't have that junk food in the house. That's you being self-aware. That's you protecting yourself. That's you being strong, saying, hey, I know if I'm indulging in this, I know if I'm around this, I can't control myself right now. I'm not there yet. That's you being self-aware. That's you being self-conscious. That's you being smart. That's gangster, saying like, hey, if I'm around this person, I'm gonna act a fool. That's you being self-aware, saying, I don't want to act a fool, because you holding yourself to a higher standard. You're holding yourself that I don't want to be acting the fool. I'm better than that. I'm stronger than that. I'm capable, and I know that I need to be far removed from this area, from this place, from this person, from these things, from these activities, because if I am, I know I'm gonna do this. I know if I'm in the club, I'm gonna do this. I know if I'm around this person, I'm gonna do this. I know when I hang around these certain people, these things tend to happen, and I don't want to be around these certain people. If you a married person and all your homies or homegirls, they engage in certain activities because they single, they can do that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And you a married person, you can't be in that area because you trying to be respectful and to your partner. That's not lame. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to conform to the patterns of this world, and that don't make you lame for not doing that. It makes you better. What's cool about being the same thing, doing the same thing as everybody else is doing? Everybody doing the same thing. Everybody doing that. And there's nothing wrong with them doing it. But don't let them make you feel less than. Don't make them feel like you're outcast or weird because you don't want to conform. You're trying to reform. You don't want to conform, you want to be reformed. You're better than that. Understand that. Remove yourself. You don't need to fight it. That's a low conscious way of thinking. Everybody just wants to fight. They think, Jump at the bit, fight. Everyone thinks fight. That's the first thing they think to. You know what I'm saying? But there's a more strategic way of thinking. There's a more higher level of thinking. And the higher level of thinking is knowing when you need to fight and knowing when there's strength and showing restraint. That's what it's all about. Understand that. So sometimes it's about fleeing. Because think about it this way. If you resist temptation, and you don't conform, and you remove yourself from the situation, you won't be put in a position where you have to fight. You can, ignore that whole thing. Think of it this way. Think of it this way. Like some missions in some games, they give you the option to go in guns blazing, or they give you the one where you can sneak around and you can go in there and you can retrieve what you want to retrieve without having to go through all the guards. Why would I go in there guns blazing when I can complete the mission without alerting the guards? In a video game terminology. Well, unless you want to do that, but I'd rather just sneak around, not alert the guards, achieve the mission, and move forward. That's what I'd rather do. But hey, to each their own. I'm not saying you're wrong. Whether you fight or you remove yourself, if you're strong enough where you can fight, and you can still obtain the goal, good for you. If you remove yourself from the situation and you obtain the goal, good for you. But I'm telling you that there's more than one way of thinking. There's more than one path. There's more than one way of thinking. That's what it's all about. You don't have to go down the same route. You don't have to go down the same path. There's always another way, and you don't have to conform. Understand that. Remove yourself from the situation before it even gets to that point. And you can rest assured that weight will be off of your shoulders. But hey, it's Rye. Like, comment, subscribe, like, and if you're new, we're here every day. And you got this, homie. It's already yours.